Organizations Wamua and Macua are set to visit various mine-affected communities this week. They've been conducting social audits to determine compliance with respective social and labor plans by mines over the past years. They're expected to present these findings. The two organizations represent rights and interests of mine-affected communities in the country. For more on this, we're joined by Macua's National Coordinator, Meshack Mbangula. Meshack, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Now, I understand that as the two organizations, you'll be presenting your social audit findings. Now, before we get to the findings themselves, just talk to us about the organizations for the benefit of those who might not be aware of these two and what you do.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Macua, Wamua is one movement. Wamua stands for Women Affected by Mining United in Action. And Macua is the umbrella organization, Mining Affected Communities United in Action. Macua was formed in 2012, December. The aim and mission of Macua is to address and capacitate communities about issues of mining that are affecting them and understanding the issues of environment and social economy so that they can be able to engage from an informed base with all the stakeholders that are engaging with, especially the mines and the government. As we know, there's a lot that is wrong happening against the mining affected communities. Mm-hmm. The mines are there, but are not benefiting. Yes, the communities are not benefiting. So our aim is to capacitate people so that they can know their rights.
All right. Now, speaking of the impact of mining, as you say, or at least the impact that mining has on these communities, one, we cannot deny it creates employment in local towns. There is some sort of development we've seen in the likes of eMalahleni. But like you say, there's equally a lot of negatives, be it competing interests on land use, water, forests. These are mostly against the community's interests. Just talk to me holistically about those findings from your report that you'll be presenting tomorrow.
Yes, what happened is the government, after 1994, they introduced under MPRDA, that is what we call social and labor plan, to address the historically disadvantaged people through the mines, because mines were just looting minerals, using the word investors to invade the land and take minerals without benefiting the communities that are hosting them. So social and labor plans, it's a document that is there with obligations to make sure communities are benefiting when the mines start mining or operating in that. But what happened is we found that is most of those documents, SLP, social and labor plans, are written without communities being aware of, and they don't even make sure the communities are given those documents so that they can know what is their right, what is their...
And hold them accountable throughout the years of mining in that town. So you're saying in most cases communities don't know what role the mine must fulfill for the community in which they're mining.
Exactly. And those documents are just hidden in the desk. So what we do, we make sure that is we demand those documents. And it's not easy because even the Department of Mineral Resources is not helping communities to get those documents. So those documents talk to the issues of communities. The mine must consult meaningfully so with the communities to make sure they know what communities want in that area. But that doesn't happen. So what we do is when we get that document, we do a verification whereby we look at what is in the document and we check it physically so it's there on the ground. For example, you find that is in the SLP, they say they're going to build a school, you know, and when you go to physically, so where they say they're building a school, there's nothing like that. Or even if it's there, it's not according to the criteria that is they said they're going to do. So based on that, we make sure that is, and we use a methodology which we call social audits, where it's community-led. People do themselves in the communities to go and verify those things in the SLP. Gathering of information, basic research, and when that is not there, because these are the obligations to make sure that its communities uplift the life of communities, change the life of the community, because mine makes a lot of money, but at the end of the day, people don't benefit. But we find that even with that, mines hide those documents.
Yeah.
And when we engage DMRE to say, look, the mines are not accounting and they're not even giving those documents available to the communities because it's a public document, the DMR will tell you that they are not, they don't have capacity to go and monitor whether the mines, comply or not.
That's
so
interesting.
It's a very
That's very interesting
so
because they essentially exist for that. Beyond encouraging investment in the mineral space, they also are there tasked with enforcing compliance and mining best practice. So if there's no capacity, then what happens to these communities?
Oh yeah, obviously a lot of money because these projects that are had to be done into the communities, there's money involved. And we find that if they had to build a skill development, that skill development, for example, it cost about 3 million. And we find that is not built and people are not benefiting and the money has disappeared. So somewhere we have to find out where is the money. And communities, if they start having understanding the methodology of social audits, they're starting to have power to challenge the mind from the informed place to say, where is this thing you said we are going to be doing for us? The problem starts from even consultation, because the social and labor plan document, you have to be informed by the people to say, look, we want a skill development, we want a crash, we want a clinic, this is what we want, so that it can sustain our life and can improve our life, and it can create employment, because mine cannot employ everyone that is hosting the mine. So skills can make communities marketable to other sectors. That's why we really want to challenge the issues of social and labor plan to make public, but that doesn't happen. We're struggling with that, and DMRE is not really assisting with that stuff. But we empower communities to challenge that from informed base and hold these mines accountable. The whole of South Africa provinces that are having mines, 99% of the mines, according to the methodology that we have used, 99% there's no compliance. They don't comply, so you must understand how much people have lost in this. The SLP is meant for 5 years, but all the fund that is, they've done nothing in that 5 years. Even if they've done it, but it's very less out of the money are supposed to be spent.
So, Meshack, which community are you starting with tomorrow? You'll be presenting where?
We'll be in Phalaborwa tomorrow. From Phalaborwa, we'll be going to Sekhukhune. So we'll be making sure that we're having those reports, and we'll be making sure to give the people the outcome of what happens in the SLP. And the people will be starting to engage and challenge those things. So we are in Phalaborwa, reporting on that. And we are not only in Phalaborwa, Sekhukhune, Mkopane, and other areas. That is Lephalale and other areas that is we have done the report. So the whole of this month we will be doing those reports.
All right. No, thank you very much for that, Meshack. That's National Coordinator at the Mining Affected Communities United in Action, Meshack Mbangula.